Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Michelle Snider, Terry Scrivner joining us here once again to talk about their magic work of hypnotherapy. Not that it's magic, it just really works is what it is. But welcome to the show again. Would you mind introducing yourself and tell us a little bit about your practice?
Thank you. My name is Terry Scrivner. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist and also a life coach.
My name is Michelle Snider. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and a Reiki specialist, and also just got life coach.
Beautiful. Well. And the name of the company is Hypnosis and You. So the website to reach them is hypnosisandyou.com. Again, both certified clinical hypnotherapists, and they live in the state of Kentucky. Just curious though, you work with clients all over the world, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, pleasure to have you back here. We've talked the past few weeks about so many of the things that can be helped. And my goodness, how your health, your body, your mind, your well-being and soul could be really rejuvenated and helped by hypnosis. And, today we want to talk a little bit more. You mentioned about goals in your client's life.
Yeah. We help with the goals, and goals are something that we want to achieve. And sometimes goals will trigger new behaviors. So it can guide your focus, and it also sustains like a momentum in your life. I don't know if you've ever noticed when you make a goal so much larger than what it really you can attain at that time, it feels like we kind of fall down, and it's the older we get, sometimes it's harder to climb back up. And I had one client one time that was wanted to do a gift for somebody, and they wanted to paint, but they never did it before. And so they just went ahead and they tried it, and they could paint. And that was a behavior that was triggered from something that, they had a goal to make this for this specific person. And it opened up a whole new avenue for them. They wouldn't have even tried, So we want to keep the momentum, and that's what we do. Is we try to help them to keep that momentum, and then there's the motivation too, and that's the desire that helps us service, your goal. So one of those like driving forces behind the human behavior, and it feels like competition, sparks our social connection just by setting and attaining it. Pretty cool. So,
Terry, did you want to add to that?
Well, I wanted to talk a moment about the motivation. And a lot of times we think that that's just for adults, but actually children can also benefit the goals. If you don't set goals, some of the things that can happen as you live in the flow or by the flow, whichever way that goes, not having focus or priorities, maybe distractions will hit, lack of confidence, motivation. It can be hard to find, and you might not get anywhere at all, or it may just be really slow.
Yeah. And did you want to, by the way, I established a website, Hypnosis and You, but do you have a contact number I should also point out before we continue?
Yes, it's 859-583-6754.
Perfect. And I think next, one of you, is it Michelle, might have a question for me?
Yes, for me. Yeah.
That was for Willie. Is it for Willie?
No, well, it's probably from him, but
okay.
Have you ever had, I know you have, but would you mind sharing one of your goals that you attained and then also what that motivation, one of the main motivations were that helped that happen?
Well, goals in general, I can mention any, right? I think my biggest goal, well, back then, my biggest goal, of course, being a teenager and going to college, I wanted to be a doctor, moved on to broadcasting, and I wanted that TV job, got it. But whatever, you look back now, not too big of a goal. I worked hard, I did it. But my biggest goal was trying to have a kid. I always wanted to have a child more than anything, even in my 20s, 30s, 40s, never worked out. I dated, and every guy I met met, which I probably shouldn't have told him, but I'm like, I want kids, I want kids, I want kids. So talk about pressure. You're not supposed to do those things, but I'm just too honest. I'm like, because if this is not going to go like that way, then there's no point in me wasting your time or my time. But here I am now at 35. I was with someone for 4 years and we were trying to have kids. He said he wanted to, but I couldn't get pregnant. So what do? I'm like, go to the doctor. I'm like, all right, we're going to have a kid. We're going to have a kid. And we signed up, we started doing IVF medications, and then he backed out on me.
Oh,
Talk about tears, devastation, painful hurt. I can cry now, right? It was 2014. I was crying, still gonna hurt over this. But so now my goal was, you know what? I made it this far. I could do it by myself. Literally went online, Googled sperm. How can I get sperm? Got a sperm donor. It sounds a little easier than this, but then 3 months later, I was able to conceive and do it by myself. So that's like my most proudest goal and achievement. And if that inspires someone, because if you want something, oh my gosh, you can do it. At the time, I had a really good job though too, so I was able to afford that. I know that could be pricey. My insurance didn't cover it, but the good news is a lot of insurances cover it now, and most states besides New York. So that was something I worked hard at. But after the research of finding the sperm donor, finding out the process of having a baby by yourself, and what it was like a whirlwind of like, whoa, but goal, finally, you know, I did it. In 2015, I had my little guy. So it was like, wow.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. I got teary eyes, but that's okay. I'm an open book. Me too. And you know what? Everybody's life is different. Everybody has their own, you know, circumstance or difference. And the worst part was I lost like a dear friend over it who was like, how dare you do this? It's like, people don't have kids by themselves with a sperm donor, like nasty. My own friend. And I had two of my friends, I have a lot of guy friends. They didn't even come to my baby shower. They were like, we don't understand this. We don't agree with this. And now my son's 8. Looking back, my friend was like, oh my gosh, it was so dumb. I said, yeah. It doesn't matter where you come from, what type of family dynamic you have. You have one mother, one father, no mother, no father, two mothers, like, who are you to judge, you know? Right. But right. And nowadays it's a little more common than it was 9 years ago, but still to face that type of judgment, but that pain still sits with the guy who like left me. Does. Yeah. Sorry if I'm talking too much.
No. We can help with that block, by the way.
Oh, there is a block. Oh, and that's why, I mean, I have a boyfriend now, but I've always had trouble with relationships, especially after that. My guard is so up and I'm so like, I don't really trust many people at all, to be honest. Yeah.
We get that. We get that a lot. You'd be surprised how many, you know, come already like that. And, you know, we help them through those steps, but you had to feel like a higher level of life when that happened for you to be able to do that. And that's one of the things about the motivation part and the goal part. You know, it does get us to, now you can experience it at a different level as a, you know, as a parent. So that's pretty positive.
Thank you. But stuff like that, clearly you could really help in someone's life because there is that block. Yeah. And I'm assuming that's what we're getting to, right? Because we've all had goals that we've accomplished, but there's things behind them that make you have them.
Right.
So motivation being one of them, clearly, right?
Absolutely. And that's something that we need because, you know, like lack of motivation can lead to mental health issues, depression, even body syndromes, things that will happen. And that's part of the IBS, and, you know, which is part of, not always, but most of the time has something to do with guilt somewhere in our body that settles. And everyone's motivated not by the same thing.
Yeah. Like
money is a great motivator, but not for everyone. Because I owned a business one time, and to motivate my salespeople, what I did was I put up a trip for them to win. And I also put up a luggage set. And then inside the luggage, there was some small gifts that they probably could use for the trip. And so they all 3 won the trip, but one was just focused on the trip. And one couldn't see themselves winning the trip, but knew that the luggage, they never had new luggage before. And then the last one was, it was all about the surprise. They had the money, really, they didn't need it. and they already had the luggage. So, it kept all three of them in their positive frame of mind. And when you have that positive frame, then the depression, it's harder for it to even show up. So I guess you could see where that motivation does help.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. What about you, Terry?
Well, actually, I'm going to switch just a little bit. And the law of attraction is something that goes hand in hand with motivation and goals. And just doing a search on Google, it says the law of attraction is a philosophy suggesting that positive thought brings positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. It is based on the belief that thoughts are a form of energy and that positive energy attracts success in all areas of life, including health, finances, and relationship. Michelle, you want to go ahead and give us an example?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Like I had this one lady that she needed a car. And so she wrote down all the specifics. And it was like in a time frame where, it was like, boom, we had to, that lady said, now we have to have that now. And so she kept putting it out, in the universe of the law of, wishing that and manifesting that to happen, thinking about it, or some people say praying, or, where you just trust that's is going to happen, and you just keep thinking it is so. And anyways, already had the financing set up, and then when she found the car, and the one that she first found, it didn't go through. There was some snags, I guess, that she said, and then she went ahead and found this other car, and in the process, I'm getting to it. Sorry.
Okay.
The gentleman that was selling the car to the lady said, I can't believe that you're even going to get this car today, because all weekend somebody hacked my emails and I couldn't get back with any of these people. And then that person was at the table that lady was signing the paper for the car, and another person come in, she said, and was wanting to buy the car. And so it was meant to be. And then to find out later, all because she put it out there for the law of attraction. But the car that she originally was going to get was a vehicle that had a bunch of callbacks, dangerous callbacks.
Wow.
And so it was a good thing. And that, she didn't know anything about cars. So, I mean, that was my example. I guess I could, share one of them. That would be it. Terry?
Yeah, actually, we used the law of attraction to find our house, actually to find two houses. Our first house, we sat down and we wrote out everything we wanted, and the 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And I wanted a fireplace and French doors. And then there was this Jack and Jill bathroom we wanted, not knowing for sure if we'd ever get it. And that first house that we found had 3 bedrooms, but it also had 3 bathrooms. It had French doors.
Are those the French doors behind you, or are those windows? I can't tell.
No, those are windows.
Beautiful, though, by the way, both of you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you have to be specific, because we didn't ask for a washer and dryer. We didn't ask for a refrigerator or stove. All we asked for was a place for them, but we did want a dishwasher. And when we walked into this house, that's what it had of appliances, was the dishwasher. So making that and putting that out there, you want to be specific what you'd like to have come to you.
Right. And the universe likes to be, I believe that, if the creator gives the jobs to like I said before, I believe was the moon takes care of the tide, and the sun takes care of the warmth and the growing and the oxygen from the green and all why couldn't it take and specifically place different things and be, something that has, that's what you want. That's what you want. But when you take and be creative about it, it's like, whoa, that's cool. I could do that. And then, all the more of a miracle, or that the universe and the creator is paying attention, or the universe is paying attention to you because you paid attention to it and asked, and was happy to bless or make it happen.
I love that philosophy. I call it like kind of karma too. It's karmic, right? If you do something good, it comes back to you. I believe in that. It's kind of like the law of attraction, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to share any more examples?
Of law of attraction?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. This one lady once again was looking for a job and was in an abusive situation where she was working from her boss, and of verbal abuse every day. I mean, and most people know what that's like to, be beat down by words. Words, stick, and we have to get rid of them later. If we don't more sooner, it would be better. But anyways, so that lady didn't feel that she was worth any other kind of job, and so every day she would take that abuse, and it got to the point that the gentleman, just kept stepping it up more, and just like to see what she could take, and she put it out there. Finally, she started writing that every night. This is what I want, and I want a job where I'm worthy and worth it, and being able to take, and so she put that out there, and she even moved to another state. She would be willing to do that just to get away from that, and it ended up being the state where one of her family members was, and then the other ones ended up moving. So she was really responsible because for them coming, because she took a chance, and she went ahead and did that. She ended up with a big house that could supply all for her family, and then also got the job of her dreams. So I mean, it was beautiful, and she just kept putting it out there. She said, "Why not? I mean, what I got to lose? Look what I had in the past, and I don't want to change my mind frame." And that's exactly what she did. So
wow. Mindset, powerful. Yeah, it's just to remain positive. You always hear about that, right? And manifestation, that's the other word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
but it's kind of part of it, right?
Yep.
And what other things do you want to share about hypnosis in particular?
Writer's block, that's a very that comes a lot more than you think.
Okay.
As far as our clients go. I know Terry's had a couple. I've just had one, but Terry usually is the one it always seems to gravitate to her somehow, because we never know who we're going to get and what they're coming for. And so I don't know if you want to share an example of that, Terry, or.
Well, it does seems like a lot of our clients will come to us and we'll start getting that same client. I think that's part of the law of attraction. And as far as the writer's block, and it's sometimes not really about the block as it is other things that come to the forefront when we're in session. So, you might get that one person where one session would be great, and that happens for them. But most of the time you go back and, you find those little pieces that you need to take care of. But we have others like abandonment and worry, test taking, nail biting.
Anxiety with that. Oh yeah. My son's now pulling out his eyelashes. He's 8. I talked to the doctor about it. And I'm like, what? The anxiety. Yeah. He was pulling his hair, picking his toenails, which I thought was kind of normal. I think everyone does that. Well, at least in my family. And then picking the hair out. And then now it's the eyelashes. But and I talked to the doctor. She's like, well, it's normal. It's normal for him. Just watch it. Make sure he doesn't do it too much. But to me, that's like a nervous habit.
Yeah. It is kind of a trigger. You watch if it kind of coincides with school and the anxiety of school, maybe dig a little bit deeper to find out where that is that's causing that issue. And of course, Michelle and I both would, be glad to work with him or you or anyone out there that's listening for any of these issues.
Thank you. And even with grief, right? I mean, Terry, you can work with someone who's suffering loss of, there's so much loss in the world when you lose someone. I mean, I lost my mom 6 years ago to lung cancer. Thought everyone thinks you'd have her around, and then out of the blue. But can hypnosis help someone grieving in a sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you kind of get stuck in that grieving process. And it's hard to move out of that without help. And hypnosis definitely can help with that. And, the people with pets, they become their babies, and that's also something we help people with. Or a child that's got a stuffed animal that they've lost. Even divorce, that's a huge loss. And it's felt really deep, and not just for the parents, but also for the kids, or loss of job, or, pretty much anything that has to do with holding on to, and it's a support or a trust or a love. The grief and loss can help.
I remember moving, and that was, oh my gosh, finally we stayed long enough in one place, and I got to build some friends. And then when we were told we were going to move, it was like, oh, I was mad. I was, I'm thinking, why me, and all this. And, we ended up plans changed, and we didn't have to move. And that was great. That was it till, ended up getting married. And then I would have went back with that move, I think, but no.
Oh no!
I'm just kidding.
True love, please. That's so cute.
Yeah.
And what about I read about famous people that have used hypnosis for fear of like flying. Is that true?
Yes.
How does that work?
It is. What happened was that, I don't know if you remember maybe seeing reruns or anything of the Brady Bunch.
Of course. I love
the
Brady Bunch.
The mom on Brady Bunch, Florence Henderson.
Florence, yeah.
She got to where they were doing the recordings for the show, and it ended up she's developed, the fear of flying, and she didn't know what she was going to do. And anyway, she sought, somebody told her to go to, check out hypnosis because it helped them. And so she did, and it, cured her fear of flying. But in the process, she was so amazed by the different changes that hypnosis does that she ended up marrying the gentleman that helped her with the fear of flying, which was the one that started, the HMI Hypnosis College. And then she started teaching there as well, and helping. She did hypnosis, or did hypnotherapy as well. So, I mean, she definitely was a firm believer in that, and then was surprised pleasantly by all the other things that it does. Never dreamed of. So,
and what about everything? Everyday life type of things that hypnosis could help you with.
One of the things that I just thought about yesterday is stage fright. And that can be in many forms, from kids at school having to get up in a play, or, people, actors, actresses, or just giving a lecture. And I had a client that came to me. She had a lecture to give. She was super good at her job. And so they had asked her to go and give this lecture. Well, she allowed herself 5 sessions to prepare for that, which was a wonderful thing, because sometimes it takes more than one session for some of us. But she allowed herself 5 sessions to be able to be prepared and be able to go up and make that speech. And a lot of her fear was things that happened as a child in school, and so we dealt with that, and then going on to build that confidence. And she was able to give her speech, and it went just really great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to share?
I don't know. I think Willie wanted to say something. He wanted at least tell you goodbye.
Yay!
So, yeah.
Hello, Willie.
Oh my
How
goodness.
are you?
Good, Jill. It's so good to see you. I'm telling you.
Same here.
Woohoo! It's crazy that oh man, I missed you.
I missed you too. I haven't seen you since before Valentine's Day. Hope that was well.
Oh, yes, it was. Yep. Yep. I developed an allergy for roses, though. I sneezed a lot. Every time that girl got close to me to kiss me, I'd start sneezing. So was that the roses or
Oh,
was that the girl? I don't know.
that is so cute. Well, oh, what else do you want to share with us, Willie?
I just I just gotta ask you, you know, when you're talking to me, I'm not really real. You do know that, don't you?
Yes,
Okay.
I do, but I feel like you are though. But
I
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
That's I hypnotize you. See, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
See, and I didn't know that about you. About I heard on about having a baby, and I thought, oh, what a wonderful gift. That's a
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yeah. You go, girl. That's what I say. You go, girl.
Yeah, of course. I'm proud. It's my most proudest achievement, biggest goal I've accomplished, I would say. Yes.
Woo.
What about
Yeah.
you, Willie?
I think that talking in front of lots of people, that's a good goal for me. I love that. And I love to make people laugh. That's fun. And I love to sing. No, but you were not going to do that. That's because you don't sing good. Okay, fine. Well, whatever. At least I admit it. Otherwise, I'd sing too.
Oh.
But
Oh.
that's my goal. I love that in helping people. So if I can talk to somebody and I can break down those barriers so we can take in and even get to the nitty gritty or get to the bottom of what's really giving them a hard time, then I think that's good. Yep, that is pretty cool. So besides, I can say anything and get away with it. Yep, you pretty much can.
Oh.
Yeah, but thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Wow.
support and your kindness as always. And you also work with some of Michelle and Terry's clients, right? Because it helps sometimes to bring in Willie. Could you just share that with our listeners too? Sometimes that definitely sets you all apart and
Yeah,
makes you unique.
yeah. One time, and we only do it with permission. You know, that's all we have to ask first if it's okay. Because sometimes we have clients that have fears. You know, I said that right. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Anyways, this one young lady didn't want to talk to anybody. She done been to
Ah,
a therapist, and you know, her she had some other stuff going on in her family,
oh, yeah.
and so she just kind of wanted to withdraw, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, listen, I I I'm so glad to get out of that suitcase. If you could help me out and just talk to me for a little bit, I can get out of that suitcase, and then Michelle and your parent can talk, and just me and you be talking, okay?
Yeah.
And she said okay, and before you know it, she agreed to have a session, and
Uh-huh.
then another session, and now she don't need no sessions. Isn't that awesome?
It's awesome.
All right,
I think you're awesome. And
you
unfortunately, we're
too.
out of time today, Willie and Michelle and Terry. So could you remind our listeners how we can reach you?
Yes, you can reach us at hypnosisinu.com or you can call 859-583-6754.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
One more. I got a site. I got it. It's up.
What is it?
It's called a datewithadummy.com.
Ah,
Woo-hoo.
awesome.
Yeah, and you can get a hold of me.
Datewithadummy.com. Will do. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
fantastic day. Thank you guys for being here and talking. Open is
Woo.
honest and yeah, it makes me feel good too.
Yeah.
And we're going to start manifesting some positive, good things in our lives, right, Willie?
And then.
Absolutely. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great day.
You too.
Hypnosisinu.com. Michelle, Terry, Willie, pleasure.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.